One of the things that sailors used to do back in the day when ships were made of wood was combine fibers with tar to plug the holes. There's this special mixture they made. Sometimes they used coconut fur, sometimes they used old fibers from old shirts or old sails, whatever. It was called wacom. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Wacom. Fiber plus tar makes wacom. And if you combine that wacom with parceling, with a sheet, you get parceling. And then after you plug the holes, you cover things up with plates and whatever. Later on, you'd get copper plates. Because a major issue with the hulls of ships wasn't just barnacles. It was also these worm things that punched in and bit off little holes from the hull. They ate worms and they ate the wood. And these worms, they were jelly-like, transparent. Apparently they glowed at night. And you could just push a finger through one of these holes, right? So everywhere you went, something is trying to eat you. And whale bones also, the vast supermajority of whale bones in history and dinosaur bones on the surface of the ocean floor, get eaten by these pink worms that don't look like worms. Apparently, they are worms, but to me, they kind of look like bushes, right? And then there's the plastic situation. You'd think from all the media that plastic is a danger for the environment and blah, blah, blah. And it is, sure it is, on land. But in the sea, sure, because hormonal issues with fish and they change, they cause mutations in fish, blah, blah, blah. But not more than 90%, I think it was 99% of the plastic that ends up in the oceans disappears. And it turns out it's something like 16 organisms that just adapted to plastic as a food source. And they just ate the plastic. So everything in nature is trying to eat you. Really think about it. Underneath, the vast majority of living things are more than 100 feet underneath us. They're really, really, really slow-moving bacteria and other microorganisms between us and the part of the world that's basically molten or red hot. And we also know that living organisms sometimes survive in high temperature environments like 200 degrees. Right? In pools of water that are boiling or whatever. And if those living things can exist, and we only basically just drilled 1 9-kilometer deep hole, and now we're developing the technology to get to 10 kilometers using a laser, a 1 megawatt laser, so that people can make energy out of these vast reserves of water far beneath our feet that are already superheated, but it doesn't turn into steam because of all the pressure of the weight of things above it, right? If you think about it, it's possible for life to exist far beneath the crust of the earth. It's possible, even more life than what we scientifically we can imagine could be down there, right? Ready to eat whatever comes its way. And maybe it's not moving slowly because it's in a really hot environment and it's actually moving really, really quickly, but moving through magma or whatever, right? So there's more than 1,000 volcanoes around the world, but that's those volcanoes are only some of them come from hotspots, from the core of the world. And most of the other ones are just crust-to-crust interactions. So, what if there are massive pockets of living things that, once exposed to the world above, can just eat everyone within minutes, right? To satiate their hunger. And because we poke a bunch of holes to make energy from the earth, all these various things just spread around the crust of the earth and eat us all, and they're very resistant to damage because they live in a volcanic environment. Like, maybe they have a short shelf life of like a couple of days because we haven't detected them in volcanoes. Maybe they're literally a pocket, like a small country-sized pocket of life, like a volcanic jungle. But what if we poke the crust of the earth and we unleash fucking hell? And that hell ends up in the oceans and it starts eating everything up. And before we know it, we've contaminated the entire environment with things that want to eat us, or if they encounter us, will eat us.